starting with one from Vampire Mommy.
Okay, honestly, Greg, I don't have that many bad takes.
Yeah!
But, come on, man. Resident Evil 8? It had the tall vampire mommy, man. How do you hate that?
Oh.
She's literally perfect.
Yeah.
I don't care that she turns into a dragon or whatever and you have to kill her. Like, ignore that. Ignore all the bad parts of the game. That first 3 hours where she's there, peak gameplay.
Ignoring all the bad
That's
parts
not even
of
the best part of the game.
And then next
all
up,
the
we
bad
got
parts.
Ari Fan.
Hi, Greg. As a fan of yours, as a console over PC gaming, and a lover of horror games, how can you continue to think the medium even comes close to the masterpiece that is Resident Evil 8? Like, it just doesn't make sense. They are clearly in two different lanes. Even if I am biased over Resident Evil. Anywho, have a great day, and I appreciate all that Kinda Funny does. Much love.
This is the one I was talking about from the beginning. Where
I'm glad
just
they were
like,
able
here
to drag
we
the medium
freaking
in. I'm
go.
glad that got pulled in.
I'm going to jump in real quick because I played Resident Evil 8. I don't really love playing scary games. I did not think this game was like a masterpiece. There's a lot of moments that I hated playing in Resident Evil 2 that I was like genuinely scared of because it just made me feel like garbage and scared and awful. But like I see that Resident Evil 2 and understand why it's like one of the most beloved games ever. Resident Evil 8, there's a lot of like just dumb shit in that game that I think Ethan Winters is like awful as a protagonist. But I agree with Vampire Mommy that like when the vampire section is done, I'm like, oh man, I don't get to see them again. Like,
How about like the
What's next?
the little baby fetus thing?
oh, that was awful.
That was the best part of that
like,
video
that
game.
was good, but it was like awful to experience. But then
Yeah.
like at the end of it, it's Call of Duty. You're shooting werewolves, and it's a shooting range. And I was like, this is cool for the person who likes action games in me, like just like the trying to get headshots or whatever.
Yeah.
But this doesn't.
Yeah.
It just changes too much. But all that being said, I didn't try the medium, but I saw a lot of the medium, and that's where I'm like, maybe they have a point with Greg, and
Before you even go, Greg, I want to say this too, because I am probably the biggest fan of Resident Evil Village here at this table, and even I will say, on the new Kinda Funny scale, Resident Evil Village is an 8 out of 10 to me. I'm not saying it's a 9. I'm not saying it's a 10. I could even make an argument for a 7.5. Like, I'm being realistic on where this is at. There is parts of this game that are really good, and there's parts of the game that are just okay. There are parts of the game that are horrible. There are parts of the game that maybe are, like, flirting with bad. I don't even think there are parts that are bad, though. The protagonist is bad, but gameplay-wise and, like, what we're doing with the game itself.
Hated that guy.
It's like, the story and all that stuff, maybe not for everybody, but it's like, to say that the game is bad, I think is a wild take. To bring the medium into it, which is just like the medium is like, I got halfway through that game and I was like, you know what? This is just not hitting the way it needs to. To bring it up against Village, that's where I'm like, Greg, you are a madman. What say you?
Why does this keep happening to me?
This is a great one. This is an actual fun one to bring out, right? Because I feel like this is almost like a fucking Jawbreaker where there's like a core, but so much has been layered on top of it throughout it, right? Where I think the actual, because I have obviously in content really banged the drum about how bad the Village is, right? I think both, on the new Kinda Funny scale, I would give both, and this is also hard because I'm not coming fresh off of my playthrough of the Village or the medium for that matter. But what I've said when this does come up and we have an honest conversation is like, it's not that I think the medium is great. People always read in that I think the medium is a 9 out of 10, right? It's like, no, I think the medium's probably, like on our new scale right now, having not played either of them, I'd probably give them both 6s. I just think that like the medium does something that's interesting for me with story. Whereas I found Resident Evil Village to be wholly uninteresting. I hate Ethan Winters. I think they introduce cool characters, but then they get rid of them too quickly. It is just shooting werewolves at the end. It is my fucking baby's multiple parts in a jar and a fucking center thing, and there's this fat guy. And it's just like, this is all so outlandish, and I
You know how I feel about fat people.
Oh man, you know what I mean? It's all so outlandish, and I can't suspend my disbelief. And I think there are a lot of cool ideas here that just don't get fleshed out. I think the medium's the exact same way. A lot of cool ideas that do not get fleshed out. But I enjoyed the breadcrumbs of the medium more, of seeing it through the end and be like, oh, I liked going through that and doing that. But over time, it has just become the fact that like, because like again, like
you were gonna give them scores a little while ago.
I just said 6. That was what I was.
Oh, both. Oh, shit,
that's what
okay.
I would probably do.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Again, I'd love to have gone back and had that at the time and yada yada yada. But like, that's another one where like I'm playing it for review. And I actually we'll redact all the names. I had a person who's in the video game industry at one of the companies at our house. And they were like, oh man, like you're playing, yeah, what do you think? I'm like, oh, I don't think it came together. Like, oh shit, really? Blah, blah, blah. And then when the scores came out, I was like, oh, I am the odd man out. I am just the one. And it's the craziest thing of like, for how much I loved 7, right? But it was something about.
Yeah, which I don't understand.
I know. It was something about the strip back of like just this like Texas Chainsaw Massacre family and the fact that it was all anchored around them and they're cutting each other up at the table and there was like so much going on where
But
it's
even
like
that's just the beginning of the game.
I know, but I think it's set up so well where we're going until it also gets crazy. I'm on a fucking boat, right? And
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean, like, but like the village just didn't.
There you go, everybody.
There you go.
I regret nothing.
Mason M says, agree with my bad take that the Iron Giant sucks. Mason, why would you write in
Iron Giant.
That's an awful thing to say.
to just expose yourself like that? What an
Iron Giant.
What's his name?
Mason. His name is Mason.
Mason?
M.
How does Mason feel about Up? I'm curious.
Mason, you nailed it.
Let me tell you about Up, though.
Wait,
Blessing.
are you kidding right now?
Everybody, oh, you love Superman. You love Superman.
even
Watch
realize.
the Iron Giant. I watched the Iron Giant. I've forgotten most of it.
Oh my
Whatever.
God.
He loves Superman.
Yeah, I know. So what? A lot of
He
people
has
do,
this
Kevin. You
little
love
bubble.
Superman.
It's true.
I love you.
Mason says it's a dumb movie. I can't help that.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you about Up,
Go
though,
for
Blessing.
it,
Let me just.
I've
let
actually
me
not
just-
seen.
Oh, Up's good. You should
Let me
watch
just
it.
tell you about Up. though.
Wally too.
Let me tell you
Ben's into
about Up.
Wally now.
I gotta watch Wally.
Up,
Organize a showing with me and Ben.
Up, not better than Wally. Shouldn't have been ranked on higher than Wally on our rankings. Here's the thing about Up,
I'm
Blessing.
gonna add them to my
The
list.
thing you remember the most is that amazing intro, and the rest of it's good. But that intro like just carries the rest of Up, where Wally should have been ranked higher. Joey Noel, I'm looking at you. How dare you do that to me? Wally
was
is a
right.
better movie than Up. How do you hate Wally? Who hates Wally?
Wow.
I just added it to my list of movies to watch.
Wow.
So now it's Mad Max franchise, Planet of the Apes, Nolan movies, Fifth Element, and Wally with Ben.
Oh, Lord of the Rings isn't there?
Put Up on there, dude. Put Up on that list.
Up, look,
boss.
I'll add.